All right. So today we're going to just do an in-class activity. If you go and what we'll do is we'll break you into teams of three and then do activities with threes here. So I'm going to break you up into teams of three and set you up there. So if you go into unit 14 here, we're going to do this red-green refactor activity. So look for the red-green refactor activity. You can click on that. But again, first I better break you into teams for that. So let's look at that. Let's figure that out. So I think we'll just set you up into teams here based on where you're at. Here we won't end up with. So why don't we do you three as a team? We want to do this table as a team. No, you three at this table. And we'll have you two as a team, and we'll see people show up. We may we'll see if we can get to a third. Okay. All right. We're assigning you a team way in back. That's your team back there. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now, with asynchronous people, I'm careful I assign people roles. Someone has to code, someone has to test, that sort of stuff. But if there are three of you in class, you can just go through and kind of all work together. We don't have to break it up as roles so much. So just work together on the project. You don't have to necessarily do the roles there. That's more for the online students who are with each other. While we reorganize this, you be one team, you be another team, okay? And then if we get any more people, we'll assign them to this team, okay? That's good. We got a team back here. You're not a team. It's green stuff. Right. I was trying to get out on green past that. So I actually prefer copying fans. I think so again, in your groups, find the POGIL activity here, put the names, and again, you don't have to worry too much about the roles here. You probably do want one person to be in charge of editing the code and opening up in the NetBeans. So, and then again, you should be able to open up this code in NetBeans, and then you should be able to run it. And then when you run it, there should be tests that aren't passing here. So you should see tests that aren't passing for this. For the students who are online or whatever, I'll assign them to roles here and stuff, and then they can fill out their own parts. But in class, you can all do this. I'm just gonna check with you on this first test that fails, make sure we're all on the same page with that. So again, you've opened up the project, you've run it, and then you ran the test. So you probably went run test project, and it brought up this test stuff. And you want to make sure you have all these things. You're seeing both the green tests and the yellow tests and the red tests. The green tests are all passing, the yellow tests are failing, and this is the first one that fails. The test is called highest value with position 1. Failed, expected 5 was 4 there. So your job, you can look at that test. If I actually double click on that, it'll open it up here. Or you can just go, remember in your packages here, there's the code under this one, and under test packages is the tests. And so if I open up the test, I scroll down, I can actually find the test that says test highest value with position 1. And then so it lists out these dice, and then the highest one is 5, so it expects a 5 there. And then it calls find highest value in our other class with these dice, and it checks does it find the actual high value and compares it to the expected one. Does it find 5? And it actually isn't going to find that. For some reason, it seems to ignore that first 5. So again, we want to then look at this find highest value. So I'm going to go back into my dice class. Now there are different methods here. There's the main method, fill array with random values, print values, calculate sum, find highest value. So there's something wrong with this find highest value. This is not working. So you're going to look through this and see what's not working. Why isn't it checking that first value here? And again, your goal is to find the error. So you might locate the error here. Once you do that, you can go back and rerun your tests. When you rerun your tests, that first test should then pass. You eventually want all these to be green tests. That is your goal, to find these errors in here in your code and get all your tests to pass. And again, your activity should walk you through that. Make sense? It's really snowing out there, isn't it? Okay, just want to check on the last part. So we're going from red to green to refactor. So hopefully you had some, actually, some failing tests, and you've got it all. Everything's green at some point. All your tests are passing. Then we want to do some refactoring. So we want to go into some of our methods here and make them better, at least made more consistent. So one of the things I want you to do is switch a lot of these for loops with indexes to for each loops. And then if you remember for those, you say for int, like if we're going through each die in the array, I'd say for each die in the array, I don't need the link there. I would just say each die in array. And then I want to add, so rather than doing the array, I just add each die into that. So again, I change the loop, make it simpler, and this is a better loop is this a loop that I probably should be using, less errors and stuff like that. But then to make sure it works, I want to go back to my tests and run my tests and make sure all my tests still pass. Because if I did something wrong here, then my test won't pass here. So that's one thing we like if we have a bunch of unit tests, we can refactor, we can change our code, improve it, and then make sure that all our tests still pass. So that's your last part of this assignment, is the refactoring. Here's update that. And again, you may have to do some remembering of how you write these loops here for each loop, for each integer die in the array of die. And then you can just use that die rather than the array index for that. All right. So that's the last thing you have to do for this. Friday, we're going to spend the whole day working on the final project design document and that sort of stuff. And that's due Friday night there, because over the weekend I want to read through yours and try to give you some feedback over the weekend So because then your first draft is actually due on, I think Monday night. So, okay.